Good evening, everybody. Welcome to America's Third Party and Waste Reduction Wednesday. Hello. Yeah, we've got a lot of things going on. I'm David Sponheim of AmericasThirdParty.com. We are seeing my idea of 12 years ago still lingering out there, but no one in Donald Trump's administration really wants to address sensitivity training and defunding the police. The Antifa-crats and the Black Lives Matter group have been taken over by Muslim Brotherhood people. And we have an underlying reality that this whole operation is being orchestrated by the New World Order. A New World Order takeover is underway, replete with Operation Overkill, which is designed to eliminate the population ultimately by as much as 100 to 200 million people in the next 5 years. I know that sounds almost unbelievable, but we're looking at a very dangerous potential use of what could be a 5G death ray. Today in the pre-show, we were watching a top particle physicist, a woman who's actually an expert on the subject of 5G radiation, speak to us about the potential uses. I spent 10 minutes playing it for all of you. Her name is Dr. Catherine Horton. She is an Oxford-educated PhD in particle physics, and she says that the 5G system very likely could be used as a weapon. Now, it's my worst fear because no safety testing has been done on the 5G network here in America. And this New World Order takeover, if it used a 5G death ray, for instance, could veritably kill the population. Your gun means nothing. So your Second Amendment means nothing at that point, too. And they can triangulate the signals of the 5G network, unlike the 4G and the 3G prior. Now, many of you are wondering, are you one of those people in the line of sight of this map she's showing you? This is an actual map of the ability of the 5G network to target individuals. And she's showing it to the people. I'm not going to play her video for you right now for fear that maybe she'll get us kicked off, but talking about her story is very important and it's very newsworthy. Now, because we have a constant need to bring out information that is being shunned by the media, we have to agree that we need an outlet to speak on these issues. So why not the internet? Why would I shun issues as important as 5G safety or defunding the police unless they do sensitivity training? These are the issues that unite the country. These are the issues that will unite the country against a dangerous, controlled, New World Order controlled two-party system. Now, I believe I will be president. You may disagree. I don't have any indication in my mind as to the trajectory as to how I will get there, other than I've been trying to do this for 12 years and been censored incredibly. Every day that I do this show, I am under attack. Not by one person, but by 15, 20 people. Now my death threats are coming in almost constantly. They are so frightened that I'm reaching out and uniting the American people under our Bill of Rights that they're freaking out. All I'm saying is if you want to look at the video, I'm going to give you guys a link. Bookmark it. Start it at this point in the show. Go for it. If you want to read about it, do it later. But this is the most cutting-edge information we have on your safety right now. So I'm going to link you to that right now if you want. Should get you there. All of the networks here can see this link from Catherine Horton. Dr. Catherine Horton, PhD from Oxford University. So let's not kid ourselves, folks. We are dealing with a potential dangerous group of people running the world, globalists that think they can control all of us. And they have some harebrained idea that they have to eliminate the population in order to save the planet. Now, did they try to clean up the water? No. Did they try to stop bioweapons from being released? No, they actually cavalierly moved them from place to place until they obviously were released in Wuhan. Are they willing to call COVID-19 a bioweapon? No. Are they even mentioning that it's mutating all over the place, even in your body? They don't want that out. They don't want anyone to know that COVID is a dangerous mutating RNA messenger unit. It has all the likes and similarities to AIDS. Did they come up with a vaccine for AIDS over the past 20 years? No. Then why would they come up with a vaccine for this? So that's a huge issue. Then they've got this other thing going on right as we speak, the 5G death rays. So yeah, we are under attack. There's no way we can even assess this any other way. I mean, your personal privacy is under attack. You're being told to wear a mask like some sort of a slave. Masks won't prevent any virus from coming into your lungs. Now, I've said that I'm 100% safe where I go. And in a way, I'm contradicting myself because I'm wearing a really good 5-layered KN95 mask that the U.S. or actually health agencies have said that it's not a good mask. Now, I've looked at the mask, and it is absolutely the best mask in the market, the KN95, and I disagree with their findings. So I'm pretty safe. But yes, a virus can get through that mask if I walk right into somebody sneezing at me. No, I haven't decided on a VP yet. We haven't had 1 minute of airtime on the mainstream media, so why would I be looking for a VP? The big challenge here is I've been doing this for 12 years and I still don't get any mention in any mainstream media anywhere. For a reason. The mainstream media is completely controlled by about 5 media moguls that are in sync trying to stop me. What you're looking at right now is a classic case of David versus Goliath. I'm David, and the Goliath is the corporate world cabal, if you will. Yeah, they told you why, because I'm too positive. I'm too likely to unite the people. I'm in the middle of the political spectrum, and they're afraid of that. Any other answer would be wrong. They're afraid of an honest person becoming president of the United States. Well, ironically, their worst fear has arrived. Yeah. I'm not going to back down, and I'm not giving up, and they can't scare me by threatening to kill me or Sarah or anyone. They constantly try. And even if they were to try to kill me, I'm an expert marksman and extremely capable of defending myself at a very good range. And I practice. So it's not like I'm unaware of what could happen. Now, if you look at the reality of our future, we are all potentially victims, even you people who are attacking my show and DDoSing me. You do it for money. You think the quick money is good. You like the money. It's easy money for you in Russia or Bulgaria. Mark pays you well, you say. All I'm saying is your life and your world is about to change unless you give me support. That means all of you people who think you're attacking our show to stop me are actually preventing the only thing that'll stop them from taking you out. Any dissident will be eliminated with this new network. Now, this is assuming that because they haven't had any safety testing on the 5G network, we have to assume it has the potential to kill people. We are also concerned that the symptoms of 5G radiation poisoning could be very, very similar to the symptoms of this terrible virus and bioweapon that's out there. Am I saying that the virus is somehow connected to the 5G network? No, not at all. I'm saying you can lose your air, you can lose your breathing, you can develop lesions around your body. You could look like Kawasaki syndrome if you're a kid. Now they're seeing lots of young people get this disease. It's on the increase. A big 80% increase in young people, 18 to 40 years old, now getting it. It's got to be something or the other, one thing or the other, but we need to look at this scientifically. And because our government will not engage in a scientific expose and discussion with peer-reviewed studies of the safety of the 5G network and that they're blazing forward as fast as we can see, Donald Trump is even talking about $1 trillion for this thing. I have to ask you, are any of you suffering with the 4G network? Are any of you having problems with getting a 4K TV screen to work on your iPad or iPod or iPad, whatever? iPods are way back, yeah. I don't have an iPod. I don't have an Apple, so I'm not into that. But I don't watch movies on my little prepaid cell phone that I keep for emergencies, pretty much inert, only if I need it. I don't use the tablets that you guys are using. I use a desktop almost all the time because I'm here. But if I were out and about, I would put that little thing on airline mode. I wouldn't even have the battery in it, actually. I'd pull the battery out because they can track you with that phone. It's part of this entire big plan to COVID trace everybody. Yeah. Now, I just played something that's going to be shocking to all of you in the pre-show. I played this for you. But right now, this is apparently what COVID-19 testing units are designed to do. They're out there to test people even though you're not even presenting with symptoms. So we don't know what's going on in your head. They could be sticking the virus in you with a Q-tip. But look at this video and how it describes the logo on the outside of these trucks. This is the logo of Lucifer. Yeah. This is a Luciferian logo, and it's being put on right on the trucks of COVID testing units. COVID-19 mobile testing facility. Look at the front of that truck right there. That's got the logo on it. Let me pause it right now and blow it up for you. They're actually boldly in your face saying that Lucifer is doing this to you. Now, many of you people who are not religious are saying, Dave, this sounds kind of wacky. What do you mean? There it is, see? It is kind of strange, but I'm not a religious person. I'm a spiritual person. I can tell you that there are very evil people in the world who believe that Lucifer exists. Look at on the outside of that thing, you can see the logo. So what in the world are they doing? Well, they're trying to, like I say, do the bidding of who they believe is their leader, Lucifer. Do I believe in the devil? Do I believe in Lucifer? No, I believe that there's sick, evil people out there that are willing to believe that crap enough to kill people. Now, if you believe Lucifer exists, that's your choice. But once you assign your soul to that person or being or entity, if indeed that entity were to exist, you automatically get hushed and then banned from the show later. Now, Matt Borges, the guy who started a super PAC to oust Trump, was just charged in a $60 million bribery case. You can't make this up. I know. I wouldn't doubt Trump is behind the investigation. He doesn't like any enemies at all. Believe me, if they could pin something on anyone, they would. Okay, so now we're living in a dystopian world where they're pushing COVID testing on you. You got to have a mask wherever you walk around. I mean, I could probably get away with this paper towel. You know, if I walked into a store like this, no, I'm not flipping anyone off. I purposely didn't flip anybody off. But you could theoretically walk in a store with a paper towel. It's about as meaningless. I know about the Ponderosa, yeah. Why are you talking about the Ponderosa? Yeah, I'm not sure what the meaning of that is. Haas. Everybody. Checking out the Bonanza story here. Anyway, if you have a relevant question politically, let's keep to the subject. I know you missed the Ponderosa. Well, you can go out and buy property out there in Arizona and Nevada for a song. I saw on LandWatch a 17-acre parcel, no, excuse me, a 40-acre parcel in Nevada for only $17,000. So you could live out in the Ponderosa. All right, so Waste Reduction Wednesday, we have to really look at how to suffer through this terrible wasteful spending our government's doing. Keep patting their pockets with PPE loans, Pelosi and all the others. Even Kanye West got a PPE loan, patting his pocket. It's disturbing to see all this money grabbing right now on the last credit our country's ever had. Federal Reserve authorized $6 trillion in spending during this time period that they created when they put their puppet president, Donald Trump, in power. Oh, they told me to shut it down, so I shut it down. It was the greatest economy in the world, and I shut it down. They told me to shut it down. I shut it down. The man is an obvious imbecile. No one would shut down an economy like ours unless they were a moron. Well, clearly he is. No, I never met Chuck Connors, no. But I did see Lauren Green at a Cal Stereo store. That's right. Or it was a Federated store, actually. It's a Federated store as opposed to Cal Stereo, Bellflower, Canoga Park, Garden Grove, Torrance, West Covina, West LA, San Bernardino, North Hollywood, Pasadena, Wizard. Bad commercial. Yeah, Federated had him standing there, and he was buying an entire entire home stereo system. Lauren Green, very impressive guy. He really was. He passed away now, but Lauren Green was the star of the Bonanza show. Aren't you glad we're talking about Bonanza as opposed to something else? Do Trump, Alex Jones meets Jimmy Carter? No, let's not do impersonations right now. Cal Stereo, before 9. Hurry. Tom Campbell. Dr. Fauci lied about masks and then admitted he lied. Why is Trump trusting him? I know. Well, Trump is having to trust Fauci because Fauci is part of the New World Order, a takeover of our country. You haven't figured that out yet? Hey, you QAnoners must be really pissed off. You had like 15,000 Twitter accounts taken down. Bummer for you. Yeah. But I know you're changing your name to QAnon and other things like that. Hopefully you'll be able to get back on Twitter with new names. Bottom line is the people who are trying to get rid of you are the ones that now want Donald Trump to become totally in line and lockstep with Bill Gates and Dr. Fauci. You QAnoners ask too many questions like about the elites, the pedophiles in Washington. They don't like that. Yeah, the people that are running Donald Trump around like a trained animal with a leading animal with a ring around his nose. Trump is like a farm animal. All they have to do is throw $1 billion in front of his face and he walks, money. Money. He looks for that. Trump is very easy to control. John Bolton said that Vladimir Putin has him wrapped around his finger, whatever that means. Yes, but QAnon is just getting started despite Twitter's criticism. Their efforts are growing. The fact that they still believe Trump is going to stop the deep state is laughable because Trump never did anything to stop the deep state. He's just a complete and utter puppet and shill for the deep state and the New World Order. But Q's basically moving in a different direction. They're just trying to push for new names, and they're just kind of getting started. It was a bad move to shut him down off Twitter. They are going to grow in many different ways. There's a couple new Twitter-like sites forming. I tried to join one, but they wouldn't let me in. They probably know that I'm not a Trump or a QAnon supporter, but I do like the fact that QAnon is trying to reveal the deep state and the dark underworld of pedophilia. Ghislaine Maxwell, that's what I do. QAnon is following a lot of my leads, but they've also got some new things going on. The Wayfair Gate story, which is like Pizzagate, but worse in some ways. We knew about pizzas sold to George Soros and Hillary Clinton for $11,000 and $9,000 respectively. And then Hillary posted a story a few years ago saying, oh yes, we had a big pizza party. I forgot to tell you about that. With 500 people getting pizzas. Yeah, sure. No one remembers that party, Hillary. Nobody in the Democratic Party remembers that party. Trump may have lost money to become president, but he's made money, a significant amount, since he became president. He's made over $400 million on profit from his hotels, which he doesn't even own the hotel in D.C. It's a U.S. post office. He rents it, which, by the way, is a violation of the Emoluments Clause. Along with, they just found Donald Trump was billing the federal government $1,000 for a 2-day stay on some unidentified person. He's got all these this proof now of him violating the Emoluments Clause. I don't believe that. No, Adele, I don't believe that Vladimir Putin is against the Zionist state. I think he's in lockstep with the Zionist state. So my belief is that Netanyahu and Russia work together. I don't know why you wouldn't think that. The New World Order includes all the Zionist states, including China, Russia, and the U.S. So you have to understand how big this plan is and how long it's been in place. I'm risking my life talking about this every day, telling you about the secrets that are going on behind the scenes as they try to destroy your world. They believe, are a bunch of brain-dead idiots that won't even fund any new change. They believe that you're a bunch of useless cattle waiting for slaughter. And I've been laying it out there for 12 years that we need to build this third party in the middle of the political spectrum. I don't know how clear I have to be. Maybe they're right. Maybe we are all being dumbed down and neutralized by the fluoride in our water, Who knows what's taking our mind to a different place than what we need to do right now, is to build this third party. Who knows what's diverting our attention? It could be mind control for all I know, but it's definitely diverted our attention. Right, $22 a pizza. And you know, when you eat a $22 pizza, you know what it tastes like, right? Everybody needs a large pizza to take some pieces home. It's just a given. So Hillary must have at least had 500 people eating pizza that day. But Pizzagate revealed the numbers, but now with Wayfairgate, we're looking at numbers of $14,000 for a cabinet. It's just crazy. I've been talking about this past week. This Yaritza storage unit was selling on Wayfair for $13,799, and when you clicked on it in the cart, if you were buying it, you would get a picture of Yaritza, a girl missing from Harwintown, Connecticut, who's age 16. Her parents are probably worried sick about her. Buying, human trafficking, allegations. This would be front row center, and the FBI would be right on the newspaper right now. But have you heard one single bit of information about it in the mainstream media? No, nothing. Zero information. So the Wayfair story has to go on. That's one of the reasons why you QAnoners have been kicked off of Twitter, because you keep talking about it. They don't want anyone to know that they're trafficking children allegedly through organizations like Amazon. We had a whole bunch of things. It's not just, it could be a down pillow. Here's a down pillow that's used, by the way. Yeah, a used down pillow sold on Amazon with a mysteriously strange number of thread counts, 434 thread count, sold for $4,876. It's got 3 stars, but it's used. Who buys an Icelandic eider down pillow for $4,876.21? I mean, what's going on here? And that's Amazon. Here's another story. Okay, well, that's fine. Downright Eliza Eiderdown, $14,828. Look at that. Unbelievable. Who's Eliza? Is this a girl that's been missing from some city? I mean, you got to wonder. And sure enough, it does click to an Eliza. I just don't have that video for you queued up. Yeah, so all kinds of suspicions are being run around on QAnon groups. And that's why the message was shut down. Twitter just said, no, you're making up stories. Well, people did contact the Wayfair company, and they did say that they definitely paid, they definitely charged that, and they sold an item for a certain amount. Well, one of the QAnoners, Amazing Polly, I believe she's a QAnoner, she found out that Wayfair doesn't charge for any deliveries. No free shipping? I mean, how can anyone do that? And she also found out that they don't get a markup on the item. How can Wayfair afford to even be in business? Where's the money? Where's their paycheck coming from? All that's very suspicious. And I really respect the work that she does. Amazing Polly. She's a great researcher. And you know, honestly, you guys have been on the wrong pathway all these years with the QAnon group. You've been diverted to believe that Donald Trump is going to stop the deep state. And I've been here for 12 years. Donald Trump took 15 of my ideas to win the election. You saw it right in front of your face. The 1,000-mile fence idea, the Barack Obama birth certificate issue, as well as many other ideas that I pushed out. The Elizabeth Warren DNA test, that's my idea. I would have followed up on it and charged Elizabeth Warren with a crime. Now, what Donald is doing now is the bidding of the New World Order. He's establishing a new secret police like Hitler's Gestapo. And that's trending now on Periscope. The Gestapo of Trump, Trump's Gestapo, is being formed in cities like Chicago, Portland. And I played earlier in the pre-show a statement by a local official in Portland saying, they got this under control. This is completely under control. And I agree. The Portland police had the thing pretty calm. There wasn't one death in Portland for like weeks and going on months of constant protest. So that's a serious thing when a president brings in a federal secret police force without even telling you their orders or their purpose. And then they start pulling people off in civilian cars. This is a junta government. This is not something that should be official. If we brought the National Guard in, it would be by order. And the National Guard would be trained in the sensitivity training courses. Now, what this is a chance for cops to understand that people are people and they have rights. Ron Helton and I had a conversation over at DLive. He's a top military guy who stepped out. He said, I don't want to be in that groove, because a lot of times people in the military, they don't understand our constitutional rights. And that's very true with our police. We get police officers trained within 21 days in America. In Europe, they take 3 years to get a degree from a college to become a police officer. We're not even teaching them the importance of the Constitution, so we're creating a junta police department all over the country. Our National Guard would be the brand new National Guard, people that have taken personality tests that make them approachable, decent people. The ones that fail the National Guard sensitivity tests will actually be put into a back unit. I call it the X-Force. Only in the event we have a problem. So only the people that would come out in a situation where, like, Portland was out of control, we'd bring in 1,000 National Guard, much like, Brian Kemp did over in Georgia. He's the governor of Georgia, and he just brought 1,000 National Guard in, and I really admire the work he's doing. He's a Republican. I think he's awesome for doing this. But he wasn't ordered to do this by Donald Trump. Donald Trump has not been giving leadership in this matter. It was Brian Kemp that decided to bring in the National Guard in Atlanta and tell the Atlanta mayor, you cannot force people to wear a mask. It's illegal. This man understands our Constitution. Seriously. And so do many governors. The governor of South Dakota, who has not implemented any laws. She understands our Constitution. She's pretty good. Kristi Noem. Governor Kristi Noem of South Dakota. And she's I would say that Trump would be smart, very smart, to pick her as a VP. Seriously. She's got a certain winnability. She kind of reminds me of Sarah Palin, but in a nicer way. I'm not trying to tell Trump what to do, but I mean, if Trump,
the governor
of South Dakota. And basically he did his whole speech there. I think if he picked her, it would be better than anyone personally, other than me, of course. If he picked me, it would be a great win, because I could pull all kinds of independents, and I can pull Democrats. A lot of Democrats believe that we are too far to the left in the Democratic Party. They really are. They're concerned. It's like the Democrats have embraced socialism and communism and terrorist organizations. And I showed you how the fundraiser for Black Lives Matter is a known terrorist. Yeah, Susan Rosenberg. She bombed 3 buildings in 1983 and got 50 years in jail, and Bill Clinton released her. And now she's the fundraiser for Black Lives Matter. We have proof of all of this. So there's a lot of weird things going on. The Democrats are getting a lot of money from the Muslim Brotherhood. And they're not really articulating my plan of shoot to kill or shoot to maim, and a brand new sensitivity training field for the police. The idea of somebody presenting with a weapon, yes, shoot to kill. But if somebody's reaching in their pocket, no, shoot to maim. You don't know what's in their pocket. I get that. But that's the big problem. We've got a shoot to kill policy that's killing people. 1,000 people a year are dying by cop. Most of them are white, believe it or not, but blacks are disproportionately dying because of cops. Their percentage of people who are black in our country is 13%. About 40% of the people in our country who are dying by cop are black. 30%, 57% are white. The rest are Asian and Hispanic. The numbers are pretty high up there. So racial profiling's got to stop. All those things really have to stop. Systemic racism has to stop. But we can't force the issue with violence like BLM is doing. And that's why BLM is a hostile terrorist group, not necessarily looking out for the best interests of black people. Okay, I'm going to bring Sarah in. She's going to give me a little time break off. But If you want to catch her in the show, recorded broadcast, watch the Twitter feed on Periscope. Otherwise, catch our show live like right now. Greetings, everybody. Welcome back. We're going to go right into the fun room. Let's get it on. Let's get it on.
Here we go again. Get ready, get ready. Rise off the mountain, though we climbed it so many times before. You keep me wanna go there over and over, but I know how it goes.
Okay, my motto, the people left alone will prosper. That's my original statement this year, and I believe it truly is the motto for the future. Unfortunately, the Democrats, Republicans don't agree the same way that I do. I think they want to impose their will upon us. It's not really no, it's actually coming from a person named 666 telling me I'm in the gutter. Your name is in the gutter. You got to get out of here. Later, guess 666. There's 4 sixes there. He's got to get out of here. I wonder if he represents HR 6666, which is designed to take out the population with COVID testing. Yes, 5G will take out your entire ability to reproduce. It's not just your ability, it's your ability of your genes to reproduce that are fried. And since none of you seem to care about reproducing or anything for that matter, yes, you've got fair warning that the 5G network is not tested for safety. Thank you for loving me. It's not just liberals that are a bad influence. It's anybody can be an influence on anybody. People change their views. I believe that her traditional values are around the Democratic Party, Sarah. When I met her, she said that she had worked on the Republican Party and as a campaign fundraiser, and I think that's great. It was in a local area.
I wasn't really a fundraiser. I was just like an intern, and I only worked with them because I just called somebody randomly, and it was before I decided on what my political views were.
Before she even knew what her political views were, she just randomly wanted to help out a campaign. She helped a Republican out, not really understanding the Republican position, and now she's really kind of aligned herself with more of a liberal mindset. But I don't think Sarah is happy with the fact that Black Lives Matter is a conduit for illegal funds from foreign countries, especially the Muslim Brotherhood. I'm sure she's not happy with that, but she cares about systemic racism, not like many Democrats. Similarly, I care about systemic racism too. That's why I did a blackface impersonation of Barack Obama, because it's not racist to do that. It is free speech, and it's good to be able to parody, satirically parody a bad president like Barack Obama. So that's why I did it. But the Democrats consider me a racist, and I've never said a racial slur in my life. Unlike Joe Biden, who said the N-word twice on camera. I would never do such a thing. So being aware of the mindset of the Democrats, who would rather relegate us all to just a, oh yes, you're part of the herd mentality, all of you. You sit there and you think that, you spoke your mind, and then all of a sudden you're on the street. Spoke my mind, and you're begging for things now. All I can say is I'm glad you spoke your mind, and I'm glad that, but the Democrats aren't helping you, and I am. I will be bringing people tent city options with good mobile service units that can provide people a place to, wash up, shower, washing machines, dryers, lavalier. So yeah, if you are worried about the 5G, you should be. One of the experts, Tom Wheeler, who I incidentally met at the government conference in Sacramento in 2010. He looked like an important person. I walked right up to him and said, Tom Wheeler head of satellite division at Northrop. So I talked to him about various things. We didn't even know about the 5G at that time. I don't think he was even, maybe he was aware of it at the time, but even he said, and he's a big supporter of it, even he said, if you're asking about the 4G, yes, it has some issues with dangers. But if you're talking about the 5G, turn around and run away. He said that. That's a quote. Turn around and run away. So it's that dangerous. Whereas your 4G phone right now near your head could cause brain tumors. So you should be aware that holding it next to your head all day is not a good thing. But this motto is something the Democrats and the Republicans cannot get a hold of. And I promise you, I will not force vaccinate the American people. I will not in any way force COVID test anyone. Even if you're suspected of having this disease, you can't be forced to be tested. You can be, no doubt will be probably in a hospital either way. Staying in your room, isolating. Creating a world, a dystopian world where we're forced to do things, that's part of the New World Order governance of Beetlejuice, aka Mayor Lightfoot. So you saw an article or post somewhere where a lot of these masks were made by the Uyghur people in China, the Muslim detainees that are being re-educated in these camps. They make these masks. I wouldn't doubt it. Anyway, this woman wants New World Order governance, and she's willing to, hi Zetterbeard, she's willing to go the distance to push that agenda. What that means really didn't entail Donald Trump sending 150 trained military mercenaries into her city for no reason. And now I understand there are riots going on in Chicago.
In her home where her daughter is quarantined, Stephanie Brady spoke of her frustration with Keystone Church's summer camp.
3.5 days at camp to 3 weeks of utter chaos in my family.
Okay, so she went to church camp and she got infected. She violated the social distancing rules in various states, and she became infected. Let's take a look. They're praying for each other here. Brady doesn't understand why camp leaders fail to take precautions to prevent the infections. So there's been a lot of foolishness going on in America, but the biggest foolishness is this woman who somehow now doesn't want global New World governance, or does she? We're not sure. Because she's resenting that Donald Trump is bringing 150 troops in for no reason. Let me go to YouTube and see if we can find riots in Chicago. I don't think there are any, but I may be wrong. I believe all of this is coming out of Donald Trump's mind. And even the overreaction in Portland, as well as now Chicago, is not like sending the National Guard into Atlanta, which Brian Kemp did forcefully, which I think really worked. But let's take a look at Chicago riots here. Protests. There's got to be something going on. They have footage of the Columbus statue 2 days ago. That's 1 day ago. According to YouTube, there are no riots going on in Chicago. So why did he send 150 troops to your land, Miss Lightfoot? Why did he send them there to you? Is this part of the New World Order governance? Thank you for telling me. You can go now. Can't stop and we won't stop. She's got some issues. She's got a lovely husband, wife, woman that she's married to. A lovely lady. I don't really have a condemnation for Lightfoot being she's the way she looks. I mean, what right do I have to criticize somebody who looks a certain way, really? I have to put up with my looks all the time. You know? Thanks for that information, Ron. Go green, John. John Denver, everybody, 1997. What a great guy John Denver was. Yeah, I miss him too. He died October 12th, 1997, John Denver did. Sad. You know, he left a daughter. And no one really knows anything about her. And I think Jessie Bell Duschendorf, Anna Kate Denver. I don't know anything about these women. She's on Yahoo. Oh, look at that. There's something. I was looking for information just in general about her because she's such a nice person. Yeah, there's John Denver's daughter. Look at that. Anna Kate Denver, I assume. Unless that's some... No, let's just make sure. Anna Kate... Let's just go daughter of... Yeah. Of John Denver. AI is not working too well today. Jesse Bell. Jesse Bell. Oh, no, that's the one we have to talk about. Okay, Jesse Bell. What a nice name, Jesse Bell. And what a pleasant smile. You know, her dad was such a great entertainer. I can't even begin to tell you how impressed I was with this singer. Take Me Home, Country Roads. Rocky Mountain High. Annie's song, right before Annie cheated on him. Yeah, he was a genuine person. Kurt Cobain was a guy that... Are we now talking about... This is Jezebel, John Denver's daughter. Wow, I didn't even know that. Now we're not now talking about Kurt Cobain. Yeah, thank you for changing the subject. He was a good guy. He cared. And, you know, I think he was taken advantage of by, you know... yeah. Without saying anybody's name and getting myself in trouble with her goon squad, yeah, I think you know what I'm talking about. But yeah, he was a really great guy, and Courtney Love was, lucky to have a guy that great. Made a lot of money, but apparently the story is that he kind of went on a bender for a couple weeks with a couple guys while she said that he was gone and missing, when she knew where he was. She knew where he was. He was somewhere locked up with a friend in a motel out in Seattle area. Meanwhile, Kurt Cobain would not sign with the deal with, I guess, Lollapalooza wanted to offer him something, a $10 million contract. And that's something that's been canceled. Yeah, Lollapalooza 2020. That would have happened canceled. That would have happened this summer, but canceled. You remember Lollapalooza? He was offered a $10 million deal, and Courtney didn't like that he turned it down. He didn't want to be sold out. Yeah, so she's made so much money on his rights that, she easily can, live forever on his money. Yeah, Lollapalooza's been canceled. Okay, any other questions? Let's move on to our Chicago police. There's no rioting in Chicago. We are overreacting. The president is following a path which looks like a Nazi Gestapo action against the American people. Not something like, I would suggest, what Brian Kemp did, the Republican in Georgia, brought 1,000 National Guard in to retain peace in Atlanta. It's really quite simple. Last night I didn't cover this ITV news story about the Kremlin taking over Russia, taking over the UK elections, but this story should play.
A long-awaited report on Russian interference in the UK's democracy is finally out after a 9-month wait. What is the Russia Report? It was put together by the UK's Parliament's Intelligence and Security Committee, otherwise known as the ISC, which oversees the work of the UK's intelligence agencies like MI5 and MI6. In 2018, the group, which is made up of MPs and peers from different parties, was tasked with examining possible Russian interference in UK democracy. Why was the report commissioned? Historically, the relations between UK and Russia have never been simple, but over recent years they've become increasingly difficult because of the UK's stand against Russia's interventions abroad, like its war against Georgia in 2008, the annexation of Crimea in 2014, but also deaths on UK soil. In 2006, there was the assassination of Alexander Litvinenko, a former KGB agent who fled to England after criticising Russia. He was poisoned with a radioactive substance. An inquiry found it was likely approved by senior Russian officials. But relations reached an all-time low after the poisoning of former Russian military intelligence officer Sergei Skripal and his daughter Yulia in Salisbury in 2018. They were poisoned with the deadly nerve agent Novichok, and whilst they both survived, a woman named Dawn Sturgis died after coming into contact with the nerve agent. Theresa May, who was the Prime Minister at the time, said,
"There is no alternative conclusion other than that the Russian state was culpable for the attempted murder."
She warned that Britain would not tolerate such a brazen attempt to murder innocent civilians on our soil, and in retaliation expelled 23 Russian diplomats. Russia denied any involvement in the poisonings. The subject of Russian interference became a primary focus of the ISC in 2018. The report has been ready since October 2019. So why has the report only come out now? Boris Johnson received criticism for not publishing the report when he got it back in October.
I don't think that his hair is quite as good as mine. I mean, can you see his hair on my head? You can only imagine what that would look like. Now, he has offered Hong Kong, this is very interesting, Boris Johnson kind of is standing out on his own, offering Hong Kong a place, absolutely, 3 million residents of Hong Kong can move to the UK, according to Boris Johnson. I'm just wondering how he's going to make that happen. I mean, I'm not sure any action is being taken place right now. But yes, my eyes adore you, though you never really had my eyes adoring you. Hello, everyone. I can't endorse David. I'm sorry. He's not exactly who I would be. My hair is superior. My dark circles under my eyes indicate that I'm not getting any sleep at all, nor can I afford a makeup artist. Well, can we at least listen to more rock music on those days? Oh yeah, sure. You know, I'm always about music, Misanthropy. Every night is about music. My goodness. And thanks to Trump Tartican, we now have Dua Lipa as one of our favorite played music items. I really find her to be absolutely fantastic. Dua Lipa. I can see why she's growing in popularity, and I thank Trump Tartican for turning me on to her. Not getting turned on by her, but yeah, the idea is she's a great singer and we need to play more of that. What rock and roll are you talking about? Little Kurt Cobain? Yeah, we can do that. You would look like that if you too watched little kids harvested and eat. So you say he watches kids eaten and harvested? Wow. That's some powerful rhetoric there, Final Dream. What are the chances we have Trudeau, Trump, Merkel, Boris all at the same time? The G7 is planned for next year. So yeah, I think, well, Trump wouldn't necessarily meet if he's not president, would he? Anyway, let's talk about the terrible child trafficking that Final Dream just mentioned. England has a whole lot of stories under their belt that they don't talk about. That's a problem. We're not getting any traction there. A lot of BS coming from the Queen and from Boris, but no traction. So it's fairly safe to say that Boris has been compromised. He's a simple puppet for the Illuminati. Headed, of course, by the Rothschilds, with the Mountbatten family picking up the rear. The Queen, of course, the Windsor family created their name. The Windsor family. It was completely made up. It's really the Mountbatten family when they took over control of England. Many of you really don't know anything about the history of the region, only what you've been told in the storybooks that you read when you go to the programming school. The National Education Association has given you Americans a basic education, I presume. Welcome, birthday boy. JMA1X, welcome, happy birthday to you. Hey, I hope you make it through the night. Yeah, don't get too drunk, okay? And by the way, for all of you who are heavily into sugar, or maybe worse, diabetes, they say that people on lots of sugar get hit harder with this supposed disease. So always beware. Warning, warning, Bill Robinson. Warning, Bill Robinson. Hey, here's a story about California evictions. A California apartment building initiates a lockdown and a mandatory COVID testing and quarantine. Sorry, I missed the story. It's not about evictions. It's about quarantine for nothing wrong except that you won't sign the papers. Due to the recent COVID-19 virus outbreak at the Palms building, the Ventura County Public Health Department, and they're the worst in California, Ventura, they brag about bringing COVID testers in. They ordered mandatory COVID-19 testing and quarantine for all residents at 137 South Palm Street. Mandatory COVID-19 testing will be at the Palms Community Room on Friday, July 17th, between the hours of 9 a.m. and 11 a.m. All residents residing at 137 must be tested for the COVID-19 virus. After testing has been completed, the residents must quarantine in their unit until test results are received. So wait a second. These people who probably are positive, you want them to drive down to the Palms Community Room building, get close to each other, breathe on each other, with snot flying left and right, but that's okay, but then go right home immediately and quarantine. This is insane. Listen to this protocol. They want them to go to a meeting house, share their germs with others, and then go home right away and self-quarantine no matter what the results. Effective immediately. The Palms building has been placed on lockdown. So they must have police around there. So you're telling you, like, honey, I don't have any symptoms at all. Let's just go to Vegas. I heard they opened the casinos. Let's just go there. Honey, is that a cough? No. So maybe if you're presenting with symptoms, I could see you want to be self-quarantined, right? But doesn't even matter if you're presenting with symptoms. The whole building is in lockdown. Are you getting the whole concept of the illegality of this? So if you flee the scene, oh yeah, you could be snagged on the road to Vegas by the new Nazis, the Gestapo that Donald Trump is hiring in your area. Oh, this is insane. We are literally allowing this president, this nincompoop who has the brains of a small rodent, to control our country. It's mind control. I know. Without even addressing our constitutional rights, Donald Trump has refused to mention our First Amendment, our Fourth Amendment. He won't tell the American people that he won't vaccinate. That means he probably will want to vaccinate. Are you getting that scary moment where you're like, I don't know what to do? I'm not going to play TikTok, the siren ahead. So if you did see that on the screen, it was just temporary. Yeah, I just actually hit the wrong button. Yeah, there's a whole scary thing going on the internet about some weird creature. Yeah, I don't want to get into it. It's just all about fear-mongering. It's creating slaves out of everybody. They don't even know the meaning of social distancing. They're being trolled. I know. Okay, here's a Chinese consulate that burns. They believe that secret files have been destroyed at the consulate. Come here. You know you want to get a rub. She's just looking for a little social attention. Oh my God, I'm not COVID spacing with my cat. I'm sorry. Considering she never sees anyone but me, I think it's safe. It's okay. You must stay within 6 feet of your pet. New COVID laws. No, I'm kidding. Okay, let's do this Chinese consulate story first and foremost. There's a fire going on somewhere in the consulate. They might be burning files that maybe incriminate them in the Wuhan coronavirus case. There it is. Yeah, there it is. Fire is burning. Zooming in on it. It's like they're getting rid of papers or something, incriminating them. I'm sure the Chinese consulate has something of concern there. They're having a barbecue of paperwork. Something looks fishy. What consulate is this? Oh yeah, there's the fire department outside. Yeah, but they can't go in because this is private property. Yeah, they're afraid of maybe something happening. U.S. orders Chinese consulate to be closed within 72 hours, and they're burning files left and right. Look at that. That is a telltale sign they've been up to no good. Now, should we have a relationship with China? Is it in our best interest financially? I don't know how many people have Native American blood Bengalitis. I know that my Pilgrim ancestry did. One of my relatives did get involved with a Native American Algonquin woman. It's true. Sorry to change the subject, everybody, from China hiding their guilt at the consulate, but I have Algonquin in me. I'd say my mix of heritage is German because of my name, Sponheim. The city of Sponheim still exists in Germany, as well as a castle Sponheim. But Algonquin Indian tribal history in my family has been, kind of out there. I remember my mother saying I'm related 8 generations ago to one of my ancestors on the English side, my mother's side, German, English, and I have Romanian on her side too. But one of her ancestors was Algonquin, so I have chosen to redo my face into this matter right here. So I'll be known now as an Algonquin relative. Is that okay? Thank you. Yeah, I think it's great. I have ancestry, but I'm not going to stand there and take a DNA test to prove it. So if you're looking for trouble, I could get in my war paint and start really giving you a real detail of what it's like to face off with an Algonquin Indian man. I'm not Algonquin though. Obviously, I don't spend my time in their religion, but I could kind of do the show this way if I, had an intentional way of looking at things, So you want to talk about politics? White man speak with forked tongue. Yeah, I do not trust Donald. Hello, evil enmity. So Dave, what are you going to say to Trump once you are elected and enter the White House for the first time? Well, the ongoing investigations into Donald Trump's background, financial problem, he'll be dealing with that in his new location in Mar-a-Lago when New York sues him. I will be asking bigger questions about his activity as our president. Most of all, why he wishes Ghislaine Maxwell, well, why is he missing, and is he still involved with Ghislaine Maxwell? I mean, seriously. Wishing her well was an odd statement for a president dealing with a woman accused of child rape. So we have to look into what Donald Trump knew about Jeffrey Epstein and what he knew about Ghislaine Maxwell. Likely burning all the personal paperwork has already been transmitted to China. No sense carrying boxes of paperwork back to China. Okay, well, that's a decent answer, Ron. I'm sure that would be the Chinese consulate's explanation. Why carry all this redundant paperwork? But really, it looks a little guilty. It reeks of guilt. And we know that anyone who's using a shredder could veritably be repositioned. You get these autists that take shredded material and they spend all their time looking at how they match, and like a crossword puzzle, you can reconstruct what they're saying. So burning it is a really suspicious thing. I'm sure the Chinese government has some shredders in their building. I mean, hello. No, Bob, you can't have a relationship with Melania. I'm sorry. She's already involved with another man. I don't know if it's Donald. Planned Parenthood's New York chapter disavows the founder Margaret Sanger over racist eugenics. I'm amazed, really. Planned Parenthood would disavow the woman who created their organization that's racist by nature. More black people die as a result of abortions of children than any other race, disproportionate to the white population, because more black women are having abortions. And for Margaret Sanger's history to be ignored by a group of people, I don't mean Kanye, but he was here. Kanye West was on Planned Parenthood and how his mother refused to abort him as a baby. He made a comment, and I think many people, black people, are really upset that Margaret Sanger, the known eugenicist and the KKK visitor, created Planned Parenthood. So I think Kanye West is coming out against all abortions, and he didn't really say it, though. He kind of broke down and talked about other things.
She said, we're going to have this baby. I said, we're going to have this child. I know people that are 50 years old that didn't have the children, that didn't have that child, that have never got to experience the level of joy that I experienced in having a child. But even if my wife were to divorce me after this speech, she brought North into the world even when I didn't want to. She stood up and she protected that child. You know who else protected a child? Who do you think might have protected a child? 23 years ago, who do you think protected a child? My mom saved my life. My dad wanted to abort me. My mom saved my life. There would have been no Kanye West because my dad was too busy.
We are not going to play that because he breaks down and starts crying at that point, but I feel for him. I really do. I mean, he could have been an abortion. Yeah. He could have been. He's pro-life, pro-God. Get a grip. Yeah. But is that a good thing that he breaks down and starts crying over this whole incident? Is that the kind of stable leadership you people want, you Republicans, like Trump? A guy who's obviously out of control with his mouth? That's what you want? Wow. Because we have Kanye in a different tone, and he kind of devolved into something very odd. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Well, it's just strange for a person running for president to start, breaking down and crying in front of everybody. Is that the kind of a man that we want as our leader? Because it shows a certain vulnerability that maybe, if you're in a group session with a bunch of other mental patients, it is kind of admirable to see that. But do we really need a mental patient as a presidential candidate? Especially now, considering our country's falling apart? I mean, seriously. We couldn't be that stupid. Well, let's be clear. Michelle and I, Michael and I, are not mental patients. Okay. Yeah, I don't seem to have Kanye here for some reason. I know why. I put him in a separate section. Hang on. No. Maybe it's a good thing I didn't copy him breaking down like that. Could have sworn I made a copy of it, though. Yeah, Conway West glitched out. I don't understand where it is. It's supposed to be in my file. Yeah, I'm sorry for what happened to him too. I mean, but I don't bear responsibility. Now, Black Lives Matter is urging the Pepperdine University to break down the statue of John Wayne. So it will be torn down. That's just a reality. It's going to be taken down. John Wayne made the mistake of saying this. He didn't personally feel responsible for the slavery period. That's his big mistake, okay? That's a very seriously messed up thing when that's his big mistake. We can't just expect that to be the big mistake in life. John Wayne did. I mean, let's face it, he was a great actor, and now we're going to see his statue taken down. It's as though this is some sort of a fulfillment of a communist dream of taking down statues everywhere in America. Here we go, Kanye West breaking down. Watch what he said right after I just played what I played.
My dad wanted to abort me. My mom saved my life. There would have been no Kanye West because my dad was too busy.
Okay, so he's in one of these MK Ultra moments where they've got these people so controlled that they start to lose it. And watch how he breaks character in just a second. He looks at the camera. Watch this. He's kind of smiling right now. He doesn't want to kill his daughter. And then he realizes this is all for the camera, You just got to take a look at the guy close up to realize how highly unstable this person is. I just don't understand, if he didn't grow up as a child and we got to go through his mental problems as an adult, is it really our best interest to have another mental patient as a presidential candidate, aside from Donald Trump, who's according to 27 psychologists, is mentally ill? Do we really need another round of that while our country's falling apart? And by the way, has Kanye West promised all of you that he will not force vaccinate you, like I have? Has he promised all of you that he will not force COVID test anyone, like I have? No, he hasn't. None of these candidates promised that except for me. Yeah, I should segue to Pink Floyd, the lunatic asylum. Yeah. I don't know how many people really will vote for Kanye, but it doesn't matter. I think you're forgetting the fact that I've been censored for 12 years and Kanye merely mentions that he's running and he gets on the ballot in Oklahoma. Come on, seriously. You don't realize how... Yeah, thank you, Misanthropy. You don't realize how completely unfair it is to an average American like me that I can't even get heard? You have no idea how it feels to go 12 years without even having a word about me mentioned in the mainstream media when people all around the world talk about me. I can't tell you how screwed up that is. Anyway, suffice to say, we're in the middle of Wasteful Wednesday, and I don't waste anything. Our government is out of control. Our leaders want to put all of us through a hell with ridiculous funding, borrowed money for COVID testing. Let me make sure this is tight. Yeah, it's a special collar. It's a special type of There it is. Okay. I was wondering what was wrong with my collar. It's a cool innovation. The shirt line came out with this little extended neckline, which actually is kind of nice because it's a relaxed fit. It has a little rubber band in here, so when you tie that, it's kind of cool. It has a little stretch. It's not a tight collar. Okay, so I hear you. We have to assume at this point that the Illuminati owns him. He's an MK Ultra victim. We've seen that same behavior in Britney Spears, where she breaks down and starts crying for no reason. This is common among Illuminati victims, MK Ultra Illuminati victims, people who've been brainwashed to be doing their bidding. So they're grooming Kanye to lead. They're grooming AOC to lead. And these people never deserved their place in this country because they didn't really earn it. They were given their place. AOC answered an ad by the Democratic Party. The liberals within the Democratic Party, the social justice warriors, wanted to put somebody there. So they picked her, and she just won an ad out of her. It's almost like celebrity, like a game show almost. No, I don't keep aluminum cans. I'm not a pack rat. I have one of the largest collections of certain things in the world. I will say that, but they take up very little space. My collection of lint balls has been an enormous achievement. I'm kidding. I'm not going to do a game show here. I'm not trying to pick a person who wants to run for office. No, this isn't some gimmick. This is my daily show. I do this every day. If you don't like it, you don't have to watch it. The Texas church blames parents after campers tested positive for COVID-19. And one person says, I didn't force you to send her. It's true. I mean, everybody knows social distancing is the order of the day, whether you believe it's an order or whether it's a volunteer act. Yeah, I never had anything like that, nor would I. I'm not in anything like that. Some guy's asking me something. I'm answering him. I could take over Alex Trebek's job. It wouldn't be that hard to be a reader. But Alex Trebek is doing great. His entire operation is wonderful. He's getting positive results from his pancreas treatment for anti-cancer. I think he's looking very good. I saw a picture of him the other day. He's doing well. I mean, I don't know if they're getting better at solving pancreatic cancer, but a lot of people who have suffered from it die pretty quick. I heard about the woman who started urinating in the Verizon store. People are just tired of this ridiculous mask society. Many people are freaking out. Yeah, nobody wants to be forced to do anything. It's social torture what we're going through right now. So sure, people wanted to go to church because they wanted to be near each other. And ironically, that's part of their freedom, their First Amendment right to assemble. But apparently some of the kids got COVID. The thing about COVID-19 is we've got to make sure everybody understands it's the most important thing is not a mask. In fact, there's no evidence masks will even prevent a virus from entering you, but go ahead and try using it. I don't mind. I wear a mask too, but it's for keeping smart dust from getting my lungs because I don't want to breathe RFID chips, but that's a side note. The reality is the gloves are essential. And I'm saying that we shouldn't require gloves, but if you have rubber gloves and you get a box of them, they're really effective because you go around all those things you do and all those things you touch in stores, which could be COVID positive. You don't touch your face with rubber gloves. Not many people take a rubber glove and go pick their nose. The only time somebody wants to pick your nose is when they want to stick a cotton swab 6 inches into their face, which is what the COVID tests are. Hey, we only have a couple slots over here at iVlog, so if you're unable to get in, it's because somebody's occupying it who's receiving money to attack our show. It's a messed up situation over at iVlog. We got a lot of viewers, though. Thanks for coming in, everybody. As you know, many of you are not able to get into the chat room. So they're only allowing 9 chatters, but they're allowing 43 viewers now because, and I'll explain what happened. I've been talking to the people that they're intentionally DDoSing the chat room. Now, according to them, Mark pays them $1,000 a week to do this. These people are Russians and Bulgarians. The Russians wanted more money, so Mark went to the Bulgarians. I'm not making this up. That's what they tell me. So I exposed to them earlier in the show, I exposed the possibility that there could be a dangerous weapon that could be used against the people, like a 5G death ray, if you will, because 5G still hasn't been fully tested in America, yet they're rolling it out. And the mere mention of that makes people wonder, well, wait a second, they're going to go after dissidents. And Dmitry was like, yes, this is like us. We are dissidents. We are obviously helping Mr. David by keeping people out of his chat room and making lots of money. Even they are concerned that their life is in danger. And they realize that my leadership very likely could save their life. Dmitry and all the others. Even the trolls are starting to flip, even though they make money. So Dmitry is allowing 30 more people in tonight to watch our show, viewers. They keep everybody from coming in here. But you're going to see the release of all of these numbers soon, because these guys who are doing the work for Mark, for money, their life is in jeopardy with a dangerous death ray. You people that support Donald Trump with your Second Amendment rights, as I support your Second Amendment rights too, have to be aware that Donald Trump's inability to talk about the 5G network is putting you in a vulnerable place, and your vote for Donald could mean curtains for you with a 5G death ray, if indeed there is one. And I don't know if there is one. I can just tell you that I brought you a top expert. Her name is Dr. Catherine Horton, and we got this link from one of our supporters. She is a PhD in particle physics and talked about how they can use the 5G network now to create targets like this map shows, which is part of her information database. And she'll tell you what's going on. It's pretty serious.
The city will look like. You will not have these overlapping 3 and 4G bands where all your neighbors got the same intensity. They will zap individuals, and when you do that, you can pick what intensity every person gets. You can tailor it to their customers, in inverted commas, or their targets.
So she's exposing what could be targets, people who could be targeted, maybe for being a dissident, maybe for believing that the dangerous 5G network is out there. They could theoretically take people out without a single trace of anybody being killed. Simple heart attack or worse, symptoms of you can't breathe. You develop a rash. Sound familiar? Well, we're not trying to dumb down chat, Samizdat. You have to understand, we're open to all kinds of new chatters, but Mark only allows a certain group of people in here. Misanthropy is wondering if maybe some of the people in here are robots. There have been chatbots put into the Devon room, so don't be surprised if they repeat dumb things. They could be chatbots. Anyway, this work of Dr. Catherine Horton is very interesting. We're going to be playing the whole video for you tonight on Waste Reduction Wednesday. Maybe not the whole video. It's a 2-hour video, but she's really, really knowledgeable. And if somebody like a particle physicist with a PhD from Oxford University tells me that this thing could be weaponized, I'm concerned. And you're not going to get this information from the mainstream media, all right? I'll give you the link if you want to watch that for yourself tonight on your own. Let me mark it 5G dangers, okay? Okay, here's the video if you guys want to watch it on your own. Very good video. I've been watching just a chunk of it, and I got enough information to be concerned. You're born in 2 hours? Oh. So you're the person actually creating the chatbots? I believe it. 992 is here to admit that he makes the chatbots. You know, I wouldn't doubt that. Some of you Bulgarians are really good at this. Now he's going to get pissed off because he thinks I'm a Bulgarian. He's a Bulgarian. Millions Nightly cannot get this info, and you have the audacity to besmear David in front of him. Yes, we've been working on a lot of chatbots. That's right. Pushing Foul says, no one's keeping anyone from the room. I've been watching this for 4 years as a guest. I got news for you. They just opened up a whole lot of guests, and that's because Dimitri wanted to offer that. Yeah, he's concerned. He really is. Even the people making money are saying, yeah, I can make this happen. So what did he do? He brought my guest total up to 40. You know how long it's been since I've had 40 guests, viewers? Now it's 39, right? I've had forever. It's taken me 2 years for me to get my viewers up to 39 because he allowed it. You don't understand how much censorship I'm encountering. In fact, you're taking up space there, buddy. Yeah, space I need for really good people. Pushing Foul. Poor guy, had to go. Yeah, we kicked him out. He just left. Yeah, and this guy named Super Saver pays them. Super Saver made $4 million from Mark a couple of years ago. And he took that money and invested it heavily. Super Saver did in Bitcoin. He told me all about it. Super Saver threatened my life 25 times. He said he was going to gut me like a fish. That's how he said he made his money from Mark. That's what he told me. Threatened my life 25 times, made a lot of money. I mean, $4 million is a lot of money to threaten somebody, isn't it? Well, Super Saver now finances these people at a very low rate, and they've got this racket going on. Yeah. Well, if he clicked the feature button, somebody has the power to do it. And it's not Dimitri, or it's not somebody working for iVlog. This is the first time we've ever had a sustained number of people in our show, and that guy just said he can control it. And he's been behind the scenes all along, Dimitri has. All right, if you don't want to believe that, it's just what people tell me. Okay, this is the expert particle physicist that said that defeating 5G as a mass-directed energy weapon is, and it could be, we're dealing with artificial intelligence too. She goes on to expound upon that. Just like I said from the beginning, that 5G may very well have its origins in artificial intelligence. You remember when Jade Helm 2.0 initiated the Jade Helm takeover of our country in 2015? It has an interesting Jade Helm signature. Bless you. Okay, Stara sneezed the other way, so it didn't go into my airstream. Okay, I'm going to check out. She'll be in for a while. I'm just telling you, you click it. How are you clicking a feature button? How could you have the feature button in your control, Scissor Fight? You're just an operator.
Where it says over on the side.
Oh, were you asked to be featured?
Turn feature off? No, I don't know.
I don't have a feature button. How would you have a feature button? You're asked to be featured, and ye shall be.
Don't do that.
No, you shall be allowed featuring. Okay, so Sarah's going to take over for a while. You're considering going on vacation? Where?
The kind Al Bundy does in his easy chair.
Oh, okay. A staycation like we're on.
Yeah, David had a little bit of spacation today.
Yeah.
You know, he went to the massage parlor and the
It's true.
and the swim spa.
Yeah, spacation. I call this a spawncation.
Yes, a spawncation.
So I'm on my spawncation here at my home, and Sarah's giving me some support here. Spawncation is in full swing. Okay. Spawncation. All right, everybody. Here's Sarah to give you some time. She does not record this section, so if you want to watch her on Twitter.
I'll be pontificating or spontificating.
Spontificating. Yeah, there you go. All right, thank you, and thanks to Sarah's relaxing little interlude. I get a chance to actually have dinner and water the plants and whatnot. It took Dave about a nanosecond to shut off the relaxing music. Well, frankly, I don't really need it. I'm very relaxed already. I'm having a spacation. That's right. It's like a spa, like a staycation, staying in one place. Yeah, so welcome. I'm all about saving money, and I found this really great thing at Walmart for $5.79. It's totally waterproof. It's got a seal around the outside, a gasket, and I put a Mylar blanket around the inside, and inside I have all of my important things like my doorway to the universe, my computer built into a phone where I could play games and all kinds of things. I've got, a variety of survival equipment. I think I have wipes in case I have, to need a wipe. I've got my CBD oil for a lifetime. This is a gift that my sister gave me. Yeah, in case you want to use CBD oil for medicinal purposes. I got my Dude wipes, which are still sealed in their wet, pre-moistened, unscented packets. 18 Dude wipes. Oh, and I've got total protection against COVID. You're under the impression they purposely increased the cost of living just so that people would leave California and spread the liberal infection across the country. That's funny. I was talking earlier about building maybe a new state, Jefferson. There's talk about an area below Oregon, right above San Francisco, that would be perfect. In fact, San Francisco could be the capital of Jefferson, and Sacramento could remain the capital of California. Here's my no-see-em head net so that you can't actually see me, and it totally protects me from mosquitoes. And I suppose, theoretically, COVID-19. Now, mosquito netting is not designed and rated for COVID-19, but hey, you never know. Some of those, like those grid patterns, might stop a virus. It's about as effective as your air mask. Anyway, I'm keeping my survival kit together with Mylar around it so that it doesn't get any 5G radiation. Put my portable phone in there too. Aren't I prepared? Yeah, this is just one of my many bug out potentials. If you don't have like a bug out bag in your car, you need to think about that. Yep. Well, I'm going to prepare any way I can, and for the inevitable collapse of our economy, because it's pretty obvious Donald Trump is making that happen. When he said, "I shut it down. I took the greatest economy in the world and I shut it down. They told me to shut it down, so I shut it down." State of Jefferson will lead the country in COVID positives per capita. I don't think so. I think people in Southern Oregon and Northern California are probably pretty cool. Anyway, I'm actually okay with the idea of a 50th state. We'd have to lose one of our states. Do you have any idea which one we'd lose? Anybody have any? We're not going to get rid of Alaska. No. I didn't get a stimulus check, and this tie was purchased by Sarah back in 2004 or something. It's a Ruffini from Italy. We got this for $15. She bought it for me. It was a gift 15 years ago. Trump doesn't have any leadership. He's not telling anybody the importance of our First Amendment, Second Amendment, Fourth Amendment, and Fifth Amendment. If he did, he would be a strong president. He would be telling the governors, no, you can't do that, and arresting certain ones that tried to take away our rights. He's not a good leader. He's just an idiot. You haven't picked up on the reality that he's just looking for money for his family. You haven't gotten that yet? Police in Hawaii arrest a California man for violating the quarantine rule. Apparently some lone patriot decided to step out of his quarantine shackled environment, and he was immediately called in by the people that wanted to shackle him. Here he is. They've arrested him. His big fine is he has COVID and he's not quarantining. Oh, but we released all these criminals, 67,000 criminals into our society, hardened criminals, but now we're arresting some innocent guy who happened to have a cough. Or maybe he had a false reading on his COVID positive test. Thanks, please, Mr. David. Jefferson is the name of the state that they want to create right above, part of California, San Francisco and above. They want to break off. The Northern California people want to break off from the Southern California people. I don't blame them, really. California is a big state, and look at what's happening with Gavin Newsom trying to cut a deal with the Chinese. The guy's trying to sell our most important state from under us. Oh, it's crazy. The guy needs to be arrested. If I were Trump, I would have arrested Gavin Newsom. But Trump is just a New World Order puppet. Gavin Newsom is part of the puppet plan. He's one of the other puppets. You got something from Germany? Okay. Fascism, the official music video. Okay, I'll take a look at it later when I'm not so Nazi. Not so Nazi, because I'm not a Nazi. Yeah, I don't blame you, man. Vorpalbite's also upset, Tiddly D. We got a lot of people extremely upset. Yeah. Ron Helton, pollen overload. Everything is in bloom in the garden now. Oh, yeah. Even my artichokes, I'm going to have to harvest them before they flower out on me. I put them in a bag and hope to cook them by the end of the year. Yeah, I can't grow hardly anything in this tough clay-like environment, so I just grow some artichokes, It's crazy. Now, the Black Lives Matter is a terrorist group, in case you didn't know. We've been talking about that quite a bit. Mm-hmm. Didn't want to belabor the issue, but we have seen Black Lives Matter's terrorist identification. Sorry, I'm taking some time. I'm just going through sorting through a few files I have. This woman is a terrorist, was a terrorist, and she's the chief financial advisor for Black Lives Matter. One on the top financial bureau gathering funds, illegal funds for the Democratic Party, ironically. See, the money that goes into Black Lives Matter is coming from Dubai and Syria and people that hate our country. That's why they're pushing this ridiculous approach, like blacks have greater rights than anyone else, and then creating riots in the streets. Well, they're funded by this group managed by a woman who's been arrested for bombing the National Capitol building. Her name is Susan Rosenberg, and she had a 51-year sentence. She spent 13 years in jail. Yeah, bomb exploded in U.S. Capitol in November 7th, 1983, and she was arrested. Well, she's now very much along with others, she was arrested. She's now very much a part of the Black Lives Matter movement. So, yes, they are terrorists, in case anyone wants to know. Do I care about brutality? Of course. I'm the originator of the defund the police plan. Unless they use sensitivity training, we can't give them money. Now, I was going to go to the Office of Management budget, or the monthly Treasury report, and look up how much money we're giving our states through our federal program. I know that some states like New York get $7 billion from the federal government to run their policing, which would really hurt them if they didn't take on the sensitivity training course. A couple cops that work at the New York Police Department, let me tell you what they did to a young young man, I should say, named Abner Luabny. About 15 years ago, these two off-duty cops in New York stuck a plunger so far up his butt that it punctured his bladder, and he has to wear a colostomy bag the rest of his life. Abner Luabny collected $3 million from the New York Police Department, but those two cops are still on the force. Do we need people like that who take plungers to people's anuses on the street? Do we really? So how much will we save if we cut back on our expenditures? And bad cops are just not something we could possibly encourage. Are you fantasizing about that? Don't. The poor guy got hurt really bad. Look at the PDF of June 2020, which is the most recent, which is not bad. It's about a month and a half out. We are way overspending. It's going to be shocking what we're going to see here. Wasteful Wednesday, talking about government waste. Just staying on script here. Oh my God, look at this. This is crazy. This is all the money that we got in. That's crazy. That's crazy. Morgan Stanley. Okay. Oh, I forgot. We did have a Dow Jones today. I wasn't even paying attention. The stock market seems so trivial now that Ghislaine Maxwell is supposedly in custody. Oh, it's up 27,005. It made it over 27,000. Up 165 points. I wonder if Warren Buffett profited more today. You got to wonder. He made $40 billion recently. The rich people are profiting because our government is going bankrupt. Look at this. These are our outlays. This is how much money came in. Do you see a problem with this? It's like being 700 pounds. This is a 700 pounds and you're walking on two little legs. You're like a monster, a multi-headed monster, this government, this budget. It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. There's the multi-headed Hydra walking around. We should draw a picture. Yeah. Walking on two legs, barely supporting yourself. I'm falling over. Ooh. Yeah, that's our budget. Can you believe this? Boy, Trump really blew it, didn't he? They took the greatest economy in the world and they shut it down. Well, if you want to just print up money out of thin air, this is a great opportunity. Wow, this is crazy. Hey, we never heard any more information about that supposed judge that was allegedly killed by the FedEx guy who allegedly killed the son of the judge. Okay, I'm reading some chat here. Adrenochrome, the esoteric drug and elixir of the elite, the satanic elite. Citizen of Gotham has that tonight. 37 minutes. Thanks for that, Scissor Fight. That looks good.
Society, in the end, focused on one thing.
Okay, so this is a kind of I believe it's a David Icke thing about adrenochrome. What is adrenochrome? It is supposedly something that the elites use to stay immortal, youthful. You know, they have all the money in the world to print it up out of thin air. They want to be as youthful as possible. So how do they get it? The celebrities and politicians and elitists and financial overlords, they harvest it from tortured children. I know you didn't want to hear that, but that's the truth. It cannot be made the way that chemistry makes it without that special nature of human trafficking. Apparently it isn't the best possible product. So consequently, as you sat there and go to work every day and do your shopping and get your milk and eggs and bread and think everything's fine, these group of elitists are systematically forming a cult of Luciferians that are actually using children, torturing them for their adrenochrome or adrenal glands. It's some sort of I don't even care. All I can tell you is it's terrible, and we've got to stop what they're doing. Can we do it with the two parties? No. They won't even admit it's happening. Will they even admit that it exists? You won't even hear the Democrats or Republicans even mention this. But you'll hear a 37-minute video about it tonight on our show. Now back to the monthly Treasury report. We're going to zoom in on it. All right. This is crazy. Let me see what the policing costs right now. The budget outlays are crazy. In 1 month, $1 billion? Look at this. Oh, no, excuse me. Yeah. 1.14 total outlays. That's 104. That's $1.1 trillion in outlays. In 1 month. During June. Hello? We're running out of money. This is no money coming in. All the money going out. We're going into the dumpster, and I don't see a lot of people at COVID-19 deaths around here. I understand it's hardly even a severe seasonal flu. It's more like a common flu. Yet we're shutting our economy down for this. This is not what we're supposed to be doing. Well, let's be clear. Portland Mayor Ted Wheeler is entering. He's entering the protest crowd right now. People are already confronting him. Why would the Portland mayor go into the protest crowd? This is foolish. Let's listen to this guy. I mean, he seems to be it looked to me like he was handling the problem pretty well, and he's so confident he was handling it. He's going into the crowd. Look at this.
Bro, why are they getting shot in the mouth, bro? What are you going to do about qualified immunity? We're trying to do okay. Because police are civil servants. They serve us. So why do they get qualified immunity?
Now, the man asked him about qualified immunity where cops don't even get prosecuted for killing people. What are you going to do about qualified immunity? That's a good question.
Don't touch it. He came out of here. He's late. He's late.
Hey, I gotta tell you, I admire a man who has that kind of guts to go into a crowd like that. Yeah, and just hang out. I mean, he's either the stupidest mayor on earth or a guy with some real serious kahunas. He doesn't have a big entourage of bodyguards. I don't know, but you know that Donald Trump's sending in 150 people into Chicago and into Portland prematurely. When Portland had this under control, I got to tell you, I admire what he just did. I do. Yeah, it's just, I don't think I would have even done it. It's just too risky. Yeah, there are people out there that could easily kill him. God forbid. Ted Wheeler, Portland mayor, man. All right, let's see what he really looks like. He's wearing a mask. You can't really see what he looks like. There he is. Okay, Democrat. Got a lot of Democrats around him. He's optimistic. He can help his city. I got a great plan for him. Yeah, I do. In fact, yesterday we encountered a solution I don't know why we can't build a tiny house village right near the protest area within a 5-mile radius of Portland. So I went into Portland and I looked at the MapQuest on this, or Google Map. And we were looking at Portland and we noticed that there is a complete forest right there. Look at this, Forest Park. It's huge. So it's right past the Japanese garden right there. It's porous. Now let me just go to satellite. You can see it. Look at this. I'm going to zoom in on it. This is all raw land, folks. Look at all the potential trails in here. Any one of these could be advanced right from a main highway. Yeah, and we could easily have like a tram and people living in the Portland area in tiny house villages. As President of the United States, I will bring in the Army Corps of Engineers and we will build the coolest tiny house village for all of you people who want to have a decent life in Portland. You people don't need to be living on the streets anymore. Seriously. I've been down to Portland fairly recently. I can tell you it is a real sad situation. So what the mayor's doing, I don't think is creative enough. He needs to get some of the access points here and get control over some of this property and build some tiny house villages. There's just no expansion for the city unless we go into this wooded area. But look at the wooded area. I mean, this is Northwest Portland right here. Look at this. All of this is potential. You can take a trailhead, open it up. We would be taking areas that would be ideal, like open, clear areas like this, preferably, without taking down trees. But we could build a tiny house village. It'd start as a tent city and work its way into a tiny house village. And we provide the water, the plumbing, the electricity. We get it all laid out. Come on, people, we can do this. We can fix Portland. We can fix Chicago. Now, Chicago doesn't even have a problem. There's no problem. There's no riots in Chicago, but Trump is still sending 150 trained Gestapo agents in there. Come on. This is a New World Order takeover, and you Antifa-crats, you're causing it with George Soros money. A bunch of people were really pissed off. They didn't have any Soros money. They were screaming yesterday. Check this out. These people were Antifa-crats that were organized by George Soros, and now they're wondering where their money is. Seriously, our country's allowing George Soros to trigger protests around the country, creating government-planned anarchy, and Trump won't even call him out because George Soros is a friend of his? Even my cat was responding to that. I don't know. Where's your money, cat? But yeah, Antifa waiting for their money. I hope they don't monetize that section of my video. That would be terrible. You know? We're sorry, but they wanted their money. It's a very simple beat, yeah. Now, these Antifa-crats are very strange. This Black Lives Matter speaker says white men are the common enemy and we must get rid of them and kill the rich. Listen to this guy speak in front of a group of people and you tell me they're not terrorists.
Who comes from the same people, white men, so we need to get rid of them. I mean, how we do that? Eat them, kill the rich, get rid of them. Who comes from the same people. The fact that, you know, all of these groups of people, the issues they face, it all comes from the same people, white men. So we need to get rid of them.
He needs to get rid of white men and kill the rich.
I mean, how we do that? Eat them, kill the rich.
Wow. Breitbart, thank you. I'm sorry you died. Andrew Breitbart, still producing videos out of the dead. Amazing. I didn't think it was possible. Hey, you got something on an abandoned house? Everything left behind, old family home, government waste, and garbage in your backyard. We're going to be looking at an abandoned house in the middle of nowhere. Old family home. Somebody must have grew up here, but it's pretty much dilapidated, and somebody else's garbage could be your treasure. You never know. This is not one of the kind of houses that we'd fix up in the homestead renewal plan. It's a little too dilapidated, but we'll take a look at it.
Today we find ourselves exploring an old home deep in rural Ontario that belonged to a family of 4.
Wow, it looks like it's handmade, like they cut that wood themselves. Rural Ontario, Canada. Okay, that's going in there tonight. And Aquachigger's out there looking for more gold. He's on a boat today. We deal with stuff like rural stuff, wasteful stuff, things that people find treasures out of waste. In our evening show, we'll be bringing you a little bit of this and a lot of politics. Because remember, we're talking about the 5G dangers tonight. We've got a big video. I'll probably play half of it from a woman who's a top particle physicist who says that 5G could be weaponized. A PhD expert from Oxford, England. Meanwhile, this guy, Aquachigger, he makes money just going out and doing fun stuff. On his social distancing trips, he hangs out with outdoor people.
See if we can find a few.
Now he's looking for gold in old gold mines. He'll be doing more of that tonight. And let's see we got one more thing. Exposing some people behind the COVID vaccines. This is scary. Exposing the people behind the vaccines. Okay, good. They didn't really get a good reaction from the antibody test. All the antibodies dropped off right after the initial testing for the supposed vaccine. I'm not going to mention the company because it's disturbing that they're pushing for a vaccine on something that's got mutations in the RNA sequence. But that's what's going on. They're trying to create a vaccine for something like AIDS, which they've failed every time. David, with global warming, maybe Americans should all migrate north. Canadians are all about illegal immigration of South Americans into the U.S. Why don't we just remove their southern border? Well, we can't just remove their southern border, tick and time bags. That's right, Moonrack. Yeah, we can't just tell them, I'm sorry, but we own your country now. It doesn't work that way. Why migrate north? We got a great country. Aside from the elitists that hijacked Donald Trump and Nancy Pelosi, we've got a great country here. We have Operation Overkill going on. They're actually calling it Operation Legend. That's the news. The word on the street is Trump has a name for what he's doing right now by creating secret police forces. He calls it Operation Legend. I say this is Operation Overkill, frankly. I do. I say it because it's pretty obvious it's overkill. The New World Order takeover, the death rays. Anybody susceptible to the possible weaponization of the 5G network. What are the symptoms? Difficulty breathing, rash, numbness in your fingers and toes, taste problems, smell problems. Sound familiar? So if we are dealing with the 5G network, we'll know more about it tonight. We'll have a full education from a Oxford PhD in particle physics. It's a special day in the neighborhood, a beautiful day in the neighbor. Will you be my neighbor? Hey, neighbor. So let's see where our viewers are at. Well, we're back to 8 now. Yeah. I guess Dimitri gave up. All right, so let's listen to her for a bit, and then we'll figure out what else is new. We got about 25 minutes to talk about the rest of the world.
Hi, guys. And yeah, it's not Friday yet, and it's not Sofa Talk. I just wanted to share something with you. As I've been trying to inform for a lot of years around vaccines, and I'm born in the 60s, and I have never been vaccinated, thanks to my beautiful mom, grandmother, great-grandmother, who believes in the body and the immune system, and also we've got so many beautiful herbs and nature.
She's my age. She's my age. So she was born in 1960. Exposing some people behind the COVID vaccines. This is scary. So she'll do the work tonight in our evening show. Yeah, a lot of people are doing great research. Not that I'm not. It's just that I have so many things to talk about. Like, Dave, what's the G-spot? The erogenous zone on a woman. What would Hitler say if he was still alive? I can't breathe. David should build something for Amber to sit on in the background. No, Amber can't really go on screen. She's a very particular cat. We're trying to, give her as much of a free rein as she can. I'm not pushing my cat at all. She's 17 years old. So I'm trying to get as long of a life out of her as I can. And frankly, she's a little bit stressed out by the lights. Blacklist says, how do I censor this guy to make money? Look at this. He's heard about us. Is this the guy that you get money censoring people? Or censoring? Yeah, look at this. He's heard about all the censoring that's paying off. People are making money trying to, DDoS my chat shows. Look at that. And then he keeps asking, how do I get money to censor this guy to make money? Wow. I am working on a dedicated community. I've got my eyes on a small property in Kentucky. Well, it's not really small. It's a beautiful property in the middle of Kentucky. It's 200 acres. Excuse me, it's 128 acres. And it's available for $200,000. And there's 2 waterfalls on it. So what I want to do is build a huge intentional community and call it Cool Rock, based on my website. Let me show you the beauty of the layout of this property. It's just absolutely gorgeous. You'll be stunned to see it. This land is your land. This land is my land.
We won't get shot, I don't think. Did you bring hacksaw?
No, of course not.
Well, you dork. You always bring hacksaw when you're showing farms. That's it. We're here too.
I had so much going on.
Welcome to Cool Rock, everybody. Wouldn't this be great if we had this property? You think I should crowdfund this? We build an entire community all based on natural living and individual homes, all mostly tiny and mini houses. Wouldn't that be great? For only 200 grand. Yeah, only. Now, some of you people who attack our show probably have saved up a couple $100 grand to buy this property just off money you made from Mark. I haven't made a penny on this entire show, so I don't make any money. If you want to go down that, it will cost you your soul. You realize that by taking money to censor me, you will be burning in hell forever, like Dimitri and other of these people that don't seem to care. Yeah, it's terrible. Or worse than that. Is this the guy you get money off censoring? What is this? Yeah. All right, so seriously, we've got lots of opportunity for people to grow, move out into a new area. We've talked about expanding out the public park service that will include tiny homes and a village for every group. Expanding the CCC, the Civilian Conservation Corps, that was around in the 1940s, making that a possibility for a lot of young people, earning $15 an hour in park service. That's something I will put together. I'm working out right now as we speak. I'm flexing my abs. I do isometric exercises during the show. We got to take a look at the budget to see how much money we're going to save on cutting and defunding police. The outlays are so great under Barack Obama. Now Donald Trump doubled the amount. You're trying to get money. Censoring me? Yeah, that is illegal. And It's prosecuted. You will get 25 years in prison if you do it. Yeah, I'm going to be prosecuting every one of these people who's been doing that in our show. Why wouldn't I? As president, that would be the first thing I'd be, well, after I take care of the economy. We have to make sure some of you people realize that you cost our nation so much by preventing my growth as a political candidate over the past 12 years. I mean, you've been instrumental in stopping the ability of me, David Sponheim, fixing the country. You realize the overall cost to our nation? It's huge. So yeah, you will get prosecuted to the fullest extent of the law. So what do you say we get Ghislaine Maxwell to work on our Terramar program? What do you say? She's got a plan. She actually has a plan to give everybody a passport to live in her country called Terramar. Yeah, she's a strange character. She believes that all the water that's not in the international water and all the other water that's not part of any country is hers. She believes it's hers. Or better yet, it's ours. And she just wants to manage it for us along with the child trafficking thing that Jeffrey Epstein has. I would say Department of Justice would come under funding for... Yeah, I would say Department of Justice would be $3.7 billion in June. So I wonder how much we spent specifically. So expect a monthly savings of 3.7. Probably if we were to defund all the police stations in America, that would probably save us about $40 billion based on that information alone. Could be. It's hard to find it because it's buried in the Department of Justice information. Department of Homeland Security, yeah, that's different. Immigration's United States Coast Guard. That's a separate funding operation completely. Marshal Service, attorneys, asset forfeiture, FBI, federal prison system. A lot of that money goes to states, state and local enforcement. Okay, here we go. This is not that much, really. $130 million in June. You know, if we defund anybody, that'd be a kind of a waste of money. It's not that much. Yeah. I'd say it's $150 million per a month. So it's not what I thought it was. But that doesn't jive with the information we have. New York alone gets $7 billion. That doesn't make any sense. No. Something wrong with that information. So we'll figure this out later. Yeah, Ghislaine has her own country. You didn't know? Oh yeah, I played a video. You may have missed it. It's a story of Terramar. You want Canned Heat? Blind Owl? Okay, I'll play that later tonight if you want. Sure. Okay, cool. I've got some sort of a German song called Nazis auf Speed. I don't know. It sounds a little nasty. Like Nazis are on speed. You saw me on TV? Really? Wow. That's a rarity.
Surrounded Friday night.
Oh, that's an old clip of a terrible thing that happened to me. I was violated. Well, if you want to check out our show too and all the links, you can always go to coolrock.com. That is available. It's a site I created for the purpose of just checking out our site. Yeah, if you're willing to trade 25 years in prison for some quick cash, like Dimitri's offering, you will be recorded ultimately as an attacker, which leads. You see, all of this censorship that's going on against me right now is part of an overall death threat against me. And it's couched around illegal use of funds, like tax evasion. The people that are making the money are committing tax evasion. I believe that. So all I really need is one particular aspect of their agency that we could go after, and then we could use the RICO Act, because my life is constantly threatened and I can prove it. I can then expand this entire thing to include a net, bringing in everybody from the censors to DDoSers, to people threatening my life. It's all part of the same racketeering. And I can prove that. So if you join that group, you will be part of the 25-year prison sentence every one of them is going to serve. That's my plan, if I become president. If not, I'll just be enjoying the nature and the beauty around me, and you don't have to worry about me. You can live with lots of money and end up choking on it. Because money is not the secret to happiness. Yeah, people believe that Ghislaine Maxwell, who ate at In-N-Out Burger, not in a Photoshop, the last known picture of Ghislaine Maxwell. And I don't mean her mugshot, because they have not presented her mugshot. It was a paste up of a person sitting in front of an In-N-Out Burger in Los Angeles. It was cut right into this picture. And they found this out because the billboard didn't match. There's a lot of oddities in the picture, but this is the last known picture of what they say is Ghislaine Maxwell. I don't believe that she is in custody right now. I just don't believe it. Yeah, anyway, this is Cool Rock, fun and free. It's available on any browser like Brave or Chrome. It's a free site. You can go there, check out various things. They've got a music board here that is pretty cool. Like Hazy Beat, you can set up a musical thing just to play on the side while you're watching our show. Once you activate chat, you can actually see things.
Let's fly away. Taking my time, taking your time so slow. Taking my time, taking your time so slow.
Anyway, have fun with the music board. It's all original music. You can just play with it. A plugin that Misanthropy gave me from one of those great music providers out there. We just stick it on there and you can play away and have fun with the whole board. We got a place you can chat. If you do leave an emergency chat message here in this box, your IP can be seen by others. So here we got a message from Rodney. Stop being a hypocrite. Do it for freedom of speech. Unban all. Dave. Don't be a hoe. Do it for America. Stop the censorship and unban all on Vaughn. See, he got through his message, which is nice. He has a way to communicate with me. Okay, let's see if we can do some artwork here. You got fun stuff all over the place. We got a great sketch and paint. You can draw things, faces and not so many faces. We could draw faces and vases. You could draw the Ark of the Covenant. Yes, and sell it online for only $29.99. We've got the Ark of the Covenant for only $29.99 at Cool Rock. All right, so if you're having a problem with your abilities to have creativity too, this is a great way to open up your mind, relax. I'm building a new music board for this thing, so bear with me. We'll probably make this site a lot better later. But Cool Rock is a place you can get all our links. Here's our America's Third Party link, taking you to the voter revolt. It's very revolting. You can print this poster up at americasthirdparty.com and print it up at your local Office Max or something and put it on cardstock in color and laminate it for like $6, 11 by 16. So that's just one option. You've got all the other chat rooms, DLive, Vaughn. I'm going to add Twitch now that I'm broadcasting. I'm still working on the board. Or perhaps the best link at Cool Rock is this Web Oasis button, which will take you to an amazing gaming center on the left drop-down menu. Go to the arcade, and voila, you've got yourself games galore, all running very smoothly on your RAM. It's not like a memory hog like Steam can be, but all these places donate their games for free use, as long as you stay at a certain level. If you try to go above that level, you have to pay into it, I guess. I know, they stole my signs, I remember that. 12 deaths among 92 residents of a local nursing facility testing positive for COVID-19. Oh my gosh. You know, folks, this is crazy. Yeah. You probably remember CNN. Cuomo says New York followed federal guidelines when sending coronavirus patients to nursing homes. Yeah, this is a problem. The federal government is purposely putting COVID positive people in nursing homes, and look what's happening. Walnut Creek, 12 deaths among 92 residents testing positive for COVID-19. This is crazy. So why is the government getting allowed to do this? A Walnut Creek skilled nursing facility is dealing with COVID-19 outbreaks. It's left 12 residents dead. This is exactly because of the U.S. government and Dr. Fauci and Dr. Birx. We are literally letting them murder people by forcing COVID positive people to go to nursing homes. It's the stupidest thing you could ever do. A pure example of why our country is being led by imbeciles. It is totally illegal. And I will prosecute you. Consider this warning, okay? Yeah, it's your warning. Right now, you could save 25 years of your life at Supermax, or you can just, because honestly, the fullest extent of the law will be thrown at the people that are trying to stop me. They're using all kinds of tools at their disposal, which you may think are not illegal, but in reality, the entire thing they're doing is stalking me. So by consigning to people that pay you, you become a cyber stalker. And the penalties for cyber stalking go from anywhere from 5 to 25 years in federal penitentiaries. So if you really want to be a cyber stalker, then, oh, absolutely, sure. Take those chances. Dave, what's your secret? What do you mean? I'm not sure what you're saying, so I'm going to mute it. David, have you ever tested positive? No. I've never tested positive for anything. Have you? Yeah, we don't allow people coming in here making jokes about my health. That's sick. You're sick. What do you mean, what's my secret? Could you ask a specific question? My secret to what? My secret to finding gold underground? I've been very successful looking through Aqua Chigger's videos. And what can I say? He's an amazing guy. He finds gold with these gold finders. So you believe Epstein is hanging out with Ghislaine Maxwell right now on the Big Island? I do too, Scissor Fight. I think we should channel with the Epstein family and maybe get into a seance right now and kind of find out if we can tune in. You know? You think that would be kind of cool? Ghislaine, we are looking for you. Let's take a look at the Ghislaine Maxwell video about her incredible interest in having Terramar. We played this last night. I'll play it again tonight. Play it again, Sam. Beautiful Jeffrey Epstein and Ghislaine Maxwell's Ocean Government.
Well, over the past decade or so, Ghislaine Maxwell has been devoting a lot of her time to...
I'm not sure what the background music is, but it kind of sucks. Here she's explaining the passport that she's offering people in Terramar.
Plan that they would issue real passports someday?
Absolutely.
I noticed that my speech today was leveraging technology to create a global ocean community. I'm going to change that on you, and I'm going to leverage technology to create a new country. Now, I know I speak with a funny accent, and so yes, I did say country, not company.
Well, first of all, it does belong to everybody, and up until now...
It's Ghislaine, not Ghislaine. What kind of a derogatory thing is? It's not just a funny accent. It's partly English and partly just elitist. You see, England has elitists that think they're better than English people.
Now, there hasn't been a defined area.
She accused me of being positive for herpes. What kind of a sick thing is that?
Around it that everyone can sort of recognize. The high seas alone, it's an area that has some laws, inconsistent laws, areas where there are no laws and conflicting laws. And the idea is, I'm not sure how is it possible that almost half our planet has virtually no governance and not one person that is looking after it.
Because it's comprised mostly of fish and toxic waste, that's why. You really think owning the rest of the world's oceans is going to save the oceans, you wretched human being who traffics children allegedly? Do you really think that? And by the way, why would Donald Trump wish her well? An alleged child trafficker he wishes well. You think that Jeffrey Epstein and Donald Trump really did rape that girl, Katie, at 13 years old in Mar-a-Lago? Do you think that's possible? Press 1 if you think it is. Press 1 if you think Donald Trump may have raped that 13-year-old with Jeffrey Epstein standing next to her, like she claimed. Press 1 if you believe that. Good. You've all been trained very well by the mind control media. Don't press on 1. You've all been controlled. You're all controlled. Oh, you do believe he did? Really? Wow. Now, she claimed that they threatened to kill her if she talked about it, because she really liked the Twiggy look. And Ghislaine always liked the Twiggy look, even though she had black hair. You think they did? I heard that Jeffrey was standing next to Donald when it was going on. Katie said it happened when she was 13 years old at Mar-a-Lago. Donald was going to a lot of parties at Studio 54 at the time. We all know that. Even he said he watched sex acts of famous people. Yeah, he is the felon. He is the kingpin. His name is Super Saver, and he's going to jail for life. We have all the info we need on him. I'm going to be prosecuting him to the fullest extent of the law. They're in total violation of my rights. How can you even think that this is easy money? You will be spending 25 years in jail just like all the others. Count on it. I don't know how a guy can avoid censorship unless it tells him that this is cyber stalking. I mean, that's the best thing I can do. Anyway, she became anemic after they raped her bloody. Well, I don't know anything about that, but the specifics of the Katie rape were completely sealed court cases, and Katie was not allowed to continue. Well, she was threatened. She dropped the case, the second case against Donald, dropped the case right out of the blue, because the day before she said she couldn't even be in front of her attorney because she feared for her life. Much the way that Stormy Daniels claimed that somebody walked up to her and said, "Hey, you better drop this Trump thing. Oh, what a pretty little daughter you got." Her 1-year-old sitting in a jump seat or in her SUV. "What a pretty little daughter you got there. We wouldn't want anything bad to happen to your mother now, huh?" That's a typical death threat from the mob. She does look like Petula Clark, and let's compare her facial features to her facial. Using facial recognition, Petula Clark and Ghislaine Maxwell are approximately 72% identical in feature. After analysis of the relevant data, although Petula Clark is much older now, her original face is very similar to Ghislaine Maxwell.
For the benefit of all of us. So,
for the benefit of all of us.
Well, first of all, it does belong to everybody, and up until now, there hasn't been a defined area around it that everyone can sort of recognize.
To this foundation, you get.
I think you might want to give the whales, if you don't mind, give the whales a passport, Ghislaine. When I was just a little girl.
Actually own that piece of the ocean, because that piece of the ocean actually belongs to all of us, or some.
All of us. Okay, let's take a look. We are analyzing Petula Clark. Accessing photograph of Petula Clark. I believe that their facial features are very similar. As you can see, upon rotating the primary image of Ghislaine Maxwell, we do have a physical match of sorts. The nose is very similar. The cheekbones are very similar. I would say a young Petula Clark, yes. Is that what we want to talk about tonight? Thank you. Let's look at Sweden's current COVID stats. Yeah, they look really good. I know, it's a good thing.
This is what you have to.
Thank goodness we don't have to look at the beating up of a guy in a wheelchair in Los Angeles. We did that last night. Yes, the blonde was Petula Clark, and she does look like a young Drew Barrymore. Thank you so much. As you can see, Sweden is doing great. Keeping their economy rolling has been the smartest thing they could have done. Yeah, this is exciting. Remember I said we need to follow the Swedish model, and Trump was making a big mistake shutting down the economy? I shut down the greatest economy in the world. They told me to shut it down, so I shut it down. Yeah. Look at Sweden. You'd be lucky if you lived in Sweden right now, you potential censorer. You're not going to get money this way. It's going to be dirty money, and you will be serving time in hell. Doesn't look like it? What do you mean it doesn't look like it? It looks like it's doing great. What are you talking about? Deaths are down. ICU's down. It's doing great. Sweden's on a perfect trajectory to have virtually no COVID positive people by next century. The Amish don't even have COVID. Yeah, it turns out that nobody ever gets near them. She is wrong, except for the fact that maritime law and admiralty law are neatly packaged with the Terramar paperwork that's been filed at The Hague. Excuse me, Malta. You may not know that certain countries are out of jurisdiction of countries like Malta. Malta isn't even a country. I think it's some sort of a admiralty maritime law organization of some sort. I'm not sure, but yeah, there are very broad frameworks for what she's talking about. She could easily be asserting herself, and people would believe it. Wouldn't even matter. That's the point. She's handing out fake passports of a country that doesn't exist, and now she's allegedly on trial, but nobody has a picture of her. She hasn't even entered the trial stage, but the arraignment, no one even heard her in the arraignment hearing. I was like, where's Ghislaine? I mean, the attorney talked, the judge talked, the audio went glitchy, and there was never a picture of Ghislaine Max. I don't believe she's in custody. Let me ask you something. If you were extremely powerful and had dirt on all of these people like Bill Gates, because he visited Jeffrey Epstein's island, 6 times that we know of, and you controlled all these people with all this dirty information about sick, evil stuff that these people like Bill Gates may have done, do you really think you're going to serve jail time? Are you serious? So I doubt she's in jail. They can't even put Bill Gates in jail for having needle-like fingernails, identified as Billy Needlehand as opposed to Edward Scissorhand. They say that Johnny Depp could be playing Billy Needlehand, but we haven't really made a deal because Johnny's right in the middle of a big divorce case and he doesn't have much money. But he's starting to look a lot like him, and I don't see any reason why we can't get Johnny to play the role of Billy Needlehand. It was a long, long time ago, but Billy Needlehand learned from the Rockefellers that his destiny was to poison the entire population and commit genocide. His goal was to lose the mustache and become Bill Gates. Billy Needlehands, the next version of Edward Scissorhand. As you can see, the facial recognition software has analyzed their faces, and we have an almost identical match. Da 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 da. Watch as these two men morph into the same man. Indistinguishable by all sets and factors. It's amazing how he would really be good as a Billy Needlehand, wouldn't he? David, are you serious? I am. What, this isn't Photoshop? I thought Bill Gates had some sort of a growth out of his fingers. Yeah, I had no idea. All I can tell you is he's obsessed with injecting needles in people, and he'll do whatever it takes. He loves the fact that he's able to produce childhood deaths. He said so on a show. Wouldn't you like to hear it?
And without the evidence, no matter who it is, a man or a woman, somebody without a man or a woman, it's damaging and it's unfair.
I'm sorry, wrong testimonial. Hey, many of you are looking to have a good time on this summer holiday of COVID spacing. Your staycations are getting a little down and depressed. Your family's looking a little bit boring and bored. These new happy masks are designed to make you feel exuberant and happy to be locked up like a caged animal with a face mask over your face and barely able to get necessary oxygen to breathe. Isn't this an amazing adaptation to the future? Be happy, be masked, be a victim. Make that the t-shirt. Yeah, I am serious. We've got a lot of problems, and most of them are overreactions, extreme overreaction. Our country is plagued with fear. The only thing you have to fear is fear itself. This is a pretty funny meme. Some very rational person is telling a person in a complete face mask and bioprotection unit, this is all part of a larger agenda. And the guy says, I think you're being paranoid. I do. I'm trying to help Sarah. No, I'll be glad to answer that. I'm trying to help Sarah sell a mask that's much more amenable to breathing. It's a breathe easy mask, and I'm just trying to help her, get ahead in life, because she thought this was a good idea. I came up with the idea with her, and we put it together. It's going to be really cool. I'm not trying to, prevent people from wearing masks. I'm trying to say that you're not required to wear a mask. It's a violation of your freedom. I thought it was abundantly clear. I wear a mask because I don't want smart fiber entering my lungs from all the terrible pollution they're dumping on us, the chemtrails. What I plan on doing is offering free fruit mist for everybody who walks into the White House. There'll be the fruit misting going on whenever you walk in. So you'll walk through this fruit misty thing. We'll have antiseptic capabilities so that when you're eating at my high-tech buffet bar, which will be completely COVID friendly, when you walk into the White House, you'll be greeted with a robot that will hand you your individual plate. There'll be no human contact. Hello, welcome. Here is your plate. And you'll have like a tray. It's like a square tray, like a cafeteria tray, but it will be gold. Not gold plated, but it'll look gold. Okay. This is your experience. You haven't gotten your utensils yet because that would be COVID unfriendly. You will be eating out of some sort of a utensil that's completely cleaned and presented at your plate, in possibly a new technology called a wrap napkin. You sit down, you don't sit down, you stand up, you walk right to the front of the buffet receptacle. You then see a line of delivery units with food in them, with pretty pictures of what's inside. You put your tray underneath the motion controlled sensor unit and out plops a serving of that particular item. Mind you, you haven't touched anything but the actual tray, cafeteria style, right? With separate little places on there for various items. You have 6 feet between each station, so you don't get near a person at another station. You then wait for the next station. You go to that station. You can even jump into a station of an item you like, but out of the 25 items in the buffet bar, you can have as many as you want. It's just like a 15-second wait between each portion. So you get your portion, it drops in your plate. You can wait for another one if you want to wait 15 seconds for, double portion if you don't get enough. It's that simple. So no one touches any of the food. It just plops on your plate, and then you grab your plate and go to your sitting area 6 feet apart from other people, and you have your dinner with your utensils. And when you're done, you pick up your plate and utensils and just drop it into a conveyor belt. It goes into a steam generator that's cleaning and steaming. No hands will touch any of that stuff. The food is prepared completely in sealed environments with absolutely no chance for COVID spreading. The future buffet, the high-tech buffet of the future, will be featured at the White House. Count on it. No, I don't want to burn a mask as a way of, because to me that's antithesis of what I do. I don't believe in burning things and putting carbon pollution in the air. And I don't really protest the mask, Misanthropy. I protest the requirement that you have to wear a mask. I don't have a problem wearing a mask. I don't. Many of you who do want to protect your freedom, and you don't want that taken away from you, and that's what I'm really defending here. I was one of the first people to say we're dealing with a bioweapon, so why wouldn't I wear a mask? If it could give me that much protection, missed it by that much, I will use that tool, a mask. So I bought some masks that have been ruled by health organizations, I'm not going to say which one, that have been ruled to be ineffective. And I purchased this because I know full well that they don't even know what they're talking about. I recently got about 20 of these KN95 masks. Now the KN95 masks are pleated masks that have absolutely 5 layers of filtration material in each one. But I'll tell you how stupid the health organizations are. Now you can look at these masks up close with a pretty good eye and see these sections right in here in this area look like holes. Well, the morons at the health agencies said, oh no, these are breathing holes. And if you look at them closely, they're not breathing holes at all. They're completely sealed plastic areas. They're actually the seal point. When the polyester goes down, that thing seals the 5 panels into one place. It forms a press, and the press heats it up. And polyester will turn into plastic if you heat it at a certain temperature. That's how they seal the mask so the pleats don't break apart. The brain-dead idiots at the health organization said, oh no, they're breathing through those holes. So that's unacceptable. So if you really want to get a good mask, get the KN95 because it's been undervalued and you can buy them online for like pretty good deal. Seriously. But whatever. They are very effective. So I feel really confident that I might avoid a virus if somebody were to cough 15, 25 feet away from me. But if somebody were to cough directly on me and like plumes of COVID was coming at me, I don't know if that would save me. But I wear glasses too over my eyes completely. So my eyes aren't even available. Nothing could get through my eyes either. So I recommend N95s ideally. The government's saying don't use N95s when clearly they're saving them for the medical community, which is standing around doing nothing right now, waiting for customers. I also have 300 blue Abso masks I used to sell online. I used to pitch the mask idea for the American people. For 7 or 8 years, I talked about wanting to help people get masks who don't have them. I even said that the CDC would give out masks initially for free to every American. I talked about that on my show quite a bit. This is before COVID. Because it is good to have something to prevent, the spread of a disease. So I've always been a big protagonist of masks. I just don't believe we should be forced to wear them. That's the distinction. I have over 300 of these things. You get them readily all over the place. So I still keep these around. These are the easiest ones to breathe through. They're called Blue Abso masks. They're used in, to protect bacteria in surgery so that somebody doing surgery doesn't cough on a patient. Okay. Hey, we're about ready to wrap it up here. I showed you how Portland could turn a beautiful area outside of the Portland center into a tiny house village and draw people out. What I didn't tell you is it could actually have a barbecue out there. So here I am out there in the open area where we could easily have a tiny house village out here. This guy's got a farm. We could buy this farm at a fair price if he's willing to sell it and convert it into a tiny house village for all the people in the Portland area. We then draw people out of the Portland problem by sending them on a road trip from here to there, freely offering bus services going back and forth, and make that place, and I'm just saying hypothetically that farm, if he would sell it, or any number of areas, this area. Now, nobody wants to sell their farm per se, but if the price was right, it would be worth it. This is the kind of action I would give you as a president. I wouldn't be bringing in a junta of Gestapo agents forcing an agenda of God knows what in civilian cars with patches they bought on eBay, like Trump is doing. All right, we're done. Hopefully some of you are not fishing old masks out of garbage cans and trying to resell them on eBay. I wouldn't recommend doing that. Yeah, I know you see a few of them in because a lot of people are just dumping their masks like smells with bacteria. I can't have it. Get it out of here. Don't use those masks. More than likely, it's highly contagious. Okay. Okay, we have a person who is abuse or spam. Other reason. All right, we've removed you. You've been doing something terrible. So many people are just willing to take a quick $100 to DDoS our show. It's crazy. There's so many people making lots of money attacking our show. It's amazing. Ted Cruz is whatever. He needs to lose some weight. Biden is pretty much lost. He can't communicate. He's short-circuiting. He's losing it. He has galloping dementia.
I can't talk. What do I do? I can't.
All right. Another wonderful day at the funny farm with Alzheimer's patient Joe Biden and Donald Trump. You are a racist. Anyone who claims that my impersonation video of Barack Obama was racist is a racist. You're referring all of your aggression toward comedy and humor onto me. You're forgetting that I'm exposing the Rockefellers, the children of the Rockefellers, every night. You didn't think I was going to forget this one, did you? Look at their faces. Edward Snowden looks just like Edward Greenberg. Jacob Greenberg became Jacob Applebaum in charge of the CEO of the Tor server. And Mark Zuckerberg got a cush deal with controlling Facebook, which he stole from the Winklevoss brothers. Yeah, and then now they're swooping in to try to take over the world. The Rockefellers with their agenda of forced vaccinations. They control the media. I'm surprised that you people are this out of it that you would not recognize the importance of me speaking out at a time when I was completely censored by the media. I mean, I couldn't get anyone to cover my story and no one would talk about me. Even though I was starting a third party, so I did a blackface impersonation of Barack Obama and immediately I was called a racist, when I have every right to impersonate a black man who was our president. It just shocks me, and I've never said a racial slur in my life, and Joe Biden has used the N-word twice. So yeah, you are a racist against white people. I feel sorry for you, man. Can you do Mr. Robinson like Eddie Murphy? No, I can't do anything. Do Mr. Robinson? This sounds kind of weird. I do a lot of things great, but I can't do anything like that. I wouldn't walk into a crowd of people, angry protesters like Mayor Ted Wheeler of Portland just did. I think that was really foolish. I don't know what he's trying to achieve, calming the masses. I mean, he's got federal officers coming into his city. Why doesn't he get busy filing lawsuits? Well, the fact that you think I'm censored is wrong because I'm not. I'm DDoSed and shadow banned, but censorship involves them shutting me down. I've never been shut down. I've always kept coming back. So technically, I'm not really 100% censored. I have the chance to even get the word out all the time. I mean, it's not like I don't have an opportunity to get the word out. It's just that the people that get in our chat room have the same things to say over and over again for years now. And the ones that want to get in the chat room can't get in the chat room. That's the problem. I think the fake Dave Chappelle hanging out with Kanye recently is indicative of the controlled Illuminati play. No, blackface is not inherently racist. No, it isn't. Especially when you're impersonating Barack Obama, a known Muslim collaborator. Yeah, he's one of the reasons why Joe Biden just endorsed the Muslims around the world, because he's getting money from the Muslim Brotherhood, Joe Biden is, through Black Lives Matter. You know, things are getting so complicated now. Yeah, I don't think I was foolish for doing it either. I've been completely censored. Yeah, I just don't see your point. You keep coming in here and saying the same thing, so I'm going to remove you from the show again. Thanks. Yeah, you censor me here and I'll pop up on 5 other sites. I've already extended my abilities, you know, and I haven't even used my next move, which is not, I'm not going to telegraph what I'm going to do, but it's pretty big. And we got 3 months till the election, and they're so foolish that they left this back door open to their entire grid, that they've opened a door that could be easily exploited. And I'm not going to just tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to do it, and then you'll wonder why the hell you didn't think of that. Our country is being run by complete imbeciles. I have 185 IQ. I'm not going to stand around and sit back while my nation gets taken into a slave-like state, forced to wear masks on a daily basis for no apparent scientific reason. I'm not going to sit back and watch them force COVID test everybody or force vaccinate everybody when none of those things will ever make a difference. We can't achieve herd immunity with this disease. We cannot. It is mutating. The RNA sequence in the disease is very similar to the AIDS. In fact, it shares 4 of the markers with AIDS. Have they ever come up with a vaccination for AIDS? The answer is no. Okay, we're done. See you later, everybody. I'll be back tomorrow with another wonderful Technology Thursday show starting at 5 p.m. with a cooking segment We're going to fire up the Snackmaster, hopefully, and make you some Snackmaster food from 1975. Yeah, I found some organic white bread. Yeah, Mr. Right, that's right. I found some organic white bread on sale, so I'm going to make some Snackmaster food with a mayonnaise blend. I've never tried mayonnaise in the Snackmaster, but it should be good. Alrighty then. Thank you for coming in. We'll be back with fun stuff into the evening, 1 o'clock. We play movies. Take care. Good night.
You make me melt away. You're Mr. Right, my Mr. Right, too good to be true. You spin my world around, 'cause you're the peace I find. If you sweep me off my feet, my heart stops to beat, 'cause you make it